go ahead and start. So yeah, all right. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. And my name is the Kenyan American Home. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today we have an amazing guest with us. Willie, we've done a live before with him, not in TikTok, but it was we connected and thought it would be a good opportunity for me to bring Willie here so that he can share on an area that I think this is where we're going. We're going remote, we're going remote. Post-COVID, a lot of jobs are, either hybrid or they are working from home. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so without much ado, yeah, I'm gonna go introduce Willie, and Willie tell us who is Willie, you know? Uh if Willie, so who are you? What would you tell people? This is Willie. Willie is Who is Willie? KG.
Yeah, so sorry, I've lost your sound.
Oh, you've lost. Oh, Paul.
Oh yeah, now you're back. Now
You
you're back.
good? Okay. Oh no. So the question I asked is, if someone would ask who is Willie, what would you tell?
Okay.
You know, who is
Yeah.
Willie?
Willie is my short name for my first Christian name,
Okay.
and KG are the initials for my other two names. So Willie KG basically is a like it's derived from my real name. So I'm an e-commerce virtual assistant. I work remotely. I've grown and I was born and been growing up in Kenya all my life. So everything I do, I'm in Kenya, and I appreciate because I've spoken about what I do in a nutshell. But today we're going to deep dive because I'm sure you have some interesting questions. So basically, I'm an e-commerce virtual assistant, and I work from home. That's how I can introduce myself.
Okay. Wait, Willie, have you always wanted to, work from home, or what was your dream before you did? How did you find yourself here? Was it like you were born wanting to work remotely, or how did this come about?
Okay, initially I didn't have an idea of anything to go with working from home, and it was not in my dreams or my plans. Maybe one day I'll be working from home. Actually, I've ever done a regular job initially. That's where I started off, and then when it came to around 2019, there is when I began working remotely. But also, I got inspiration. Like I keep saying, all of my fans who are here, they know the story. Like I was inspired by my brothers to go remote working and stuff like that because them themselves they are doing that, and it was pretty easy for me to develop interest really quick because I was being shown the ways how to go about that. So it was not in my plan, but it is something I took up almost real quick because it is something also any other person can do it like that.
Okay. And then, so wait, you mentioned your brothers kind of introduce you to remote work. Were
Yes.
they like, what's level of schooling in terms of, can you give us a breakdown? Were they like technically experienced,
Okay.
or is it just, were they like, because when you look at remote work, sometimes you can, people can do remote work without having to go to school.
Yeah.
How, like,
Exactly.
were your brothers technically experienced, or how did it go, or yourself too, when you put yourself in that
So
situation?
maybe I'll just yeah, that's a very good question, and I'm sure now it's going to keep me off like pretty well. So the thing is, I'm the eldest.
Okay.
I'm the eldest in our family. I'm the firstborn. Then my two brothers, wananifuata basically. So they are in tech world, and one is a software engineer. The other one is a graphic designer, UX, UI user experience in terms of websites and stuff like that. So they have been doing that, and because of their technical know-how and their skills, and they have graduated also from the university, but the person, my brother who does UI, did a different course. He did engineering in electronics and communication, but he ended up
Mm,
taking up graphic design. So this
okay.
was something that was easy for them to explain to me because myself, I'm not a developer. I don't have the computer skills and knowledge, the high skill, the developing skills, not the basic ones. So it was pretty easy because they've been working remotely for a long time, and it was easy for them to show me the tricks and where to start in a very easy way. Remember, the space is so huge. Them being in tech, they are doing the hard skills, actually, I can say that way. So if you're developing a website, a systems, those are hard skills. So because they know I did procurement, actually, people don't know that I did procurement in university, and I had an interest with commerce. So it was so easy for them now to introduce the e-commerce thing to me. So and that is how now I started getting into the e-commerce platform and learning and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had the procurement background, and so it
Yes.
was transitioning to that. Like, how did
Yes.
you someone? Because I know a lot of people are joining in, and you know, a lot of them maybe I don't know what the experience level is with the people who are joining us, but for somebody who doesn't know anything,
Yes.
about working from home,
Yes.
who doesn't have any experience, like how can you advise them? How do you start? How do I start?
Ah, that is good. Now, the most important thing is, first of all, to develop an interest. Like you've got that interest of working from home. Okay.
Okay.
Once you develop the interest, now it will bring other stuff. Now, from your interest, you can be able to identify a niche. Remember, for you to work from home, you need to be doing a specific task or a specific thing. So, and that specific thing that you might end up doing will majorly be derived from your interest. Okay, so once you have an interest, you identify the niche. The niche is the particular now. There's so many general things, but now where you deep dive, kabisa, like exact point is where you get your niche. Then once you identify your niche, you now find the skills required for the particular niche. There's a whole set of skills you require, both basic and technical, that the ones that will enable you to jump the remote world. Now, for those who maybe say like it's not a must you've graduated from the university or you have a diploma or stuff like that, you can be able to work remotely as long as you finished your high school, basically. So because they never require certificates or anything like that, you just need to have good skills that you can prove when you're being interviewed or when you're doing your job. You just prove your skills, and those skills are so many. But as you identify your niche, you'll narrow down to the ones that you require, and then with time people keep on developing or adding more skills to themselves so that they can be able to do more jobs. Remember, you just start small, then after a while you keep on developing more skills that will enable you get more jobs. That is the way to go.
Ah, that
Yeah.
that's a very important. I think that's I
Yeah.
want to pick up that point that you pointed out, and I think it's
Yeah.
very important to
Yeah.
tell people to start small because
Yes.
I think oftentimes when people are starting something, and if you've had the experience of starting something, people are
Yeah.
very a lot of times you come in with your expectation, like,
Yeah.
that this is a really good opportunity. I'm gonna just go and then boom, it's gonna be successful.
Yeah.
But
True.
that is, especially when it comes to when it comes to a business world or when it comes to your career, that oftentimes it's not the case.
Yeah.
They
True. True.
they
You have to
think
start small.
yeah, these things we think that this is what I'm gonna do, and you start kind of planning your life, but then oftentimes
Yeah.
you'll meet a lot of bumps along the way. And I'm sure that's one of the questions that I wanna, as we progress, as we go on, is I wanna ask you about bumps along the way, because uh
Yeah.
it's
Sure.
I don't believe it was smooth for you to start doing this, and then it was just doors started to open for you. But I think I wanted to point out that, which is a very
Yeah.
good
Of
point that
course.
you
Yeah.
made. Is start small. Start small. Don't
Yeah.
especially when you're new here, don't go big, because I feel like good foundations are very important. If you don't build a good foundation
Yeah.
in the
True.
beginning, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna last.
Yeah. True.
So,
Yeah, true.
like,
And the
what was
thing I did is like when you're starting small, once you develop your interest, there are three key things that you require. I keep Most people overlook that, but it's important because I've got that question a lot. You need to have for you to work remotely. You need to have a computer or a laptop. You need to have stable internet and a skill. That is the way to go. Now, once you have those, now you can be able now to identify what you can be able to do exactly.
Okay, so you said you need three things for you to be able to start in remote work.
Yeah,
Number one, you said you
yeah,
need a computer,
or a
and
laptop.
then
Yeah,
And then the other one, you need a skill.
Yes,
All right. And then what was it? Was it that one you need an interest?
it was a computer and laptop skill
Hmm.
and stable internet. Sorry, yeah, stable
Ah,
internet.
stable internet. Okay.
That is the
Okay.
gateway to all this. Yeah,
Which is very important. So wait, so
yeah,
how, like, can you explain to us, when your brothers come and tell you about this opportunity working from home,
yes.
what was your first year? Like, what was your
Ah,
first year in this? Like, how did it go? How did you
okay.
fail? How did you succeed? Tell us about
Yeah.
your first year.
So what happened is, I've been watching them working from home actually, because at some point I lived with them. When you come to start life in Nairobi, you stay with your relatives. So I happened to stay with them, and I could see what they are doing actually when I was going for my other job. So you leave somebody in the house, they're just chilling, they wake up, they do their thing, they submit their work, they tell you they got paid. Now I had the whole idea how it is going, and generally what happens and the kind of jobs they do. So when I decided to come on board, it was pretty much easy because I knew what to expect. But now the challenge was the skill. Remember, you can't do anything without a skill. So I had to learn. Now I'll tell you, I just chose e-commerce because that was my interest. And one of my youngest brother actually is the one who suggested something called Shopify to me. It was really
Mhm.
interesting. And that's how I pick it up. So aliniambia, just learn Shopify, you can be able to apply for jobs that you can be able to manage websites and stuff like that. So at least I had an idea. I was not totally new because I could see what they're doing. And we normally have continuous conversations on everything because I can see the experience when they're doing work, they submit, they get paid and all that. So it was so easy for me to be able to start off, but it was not easy to land the first jobs or to get continuous jobs. That is totally different because there's another story to it. Because when you start off, the biggest challenge is to get your first client. That is always the biggest challenge. But once you get your first client, everything else become easy. So the opportunity or the privilege I have being with my brothers, and I talk so much about them because they have really made me this far. So because without their guidance, maybe have I wouldn't have gone this far, so to say. Yeah. So I totally appreciate them, and it's through their guidance that I was able to get headways. Because being told something like Shopify, I'm sure it was even now right now so many people don't know about it. It's something totally new, but I was told that back like 5, 6 years back. So it was something that was able to give me a good penetration into this system.
Ah, wait. I think so you have your list of three key essentials that you need, but I think to that list you need a mentor because that worked for you. You need
Exactly.
people.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
need you
Yeah.
need somebody who's maybe done it and
Yeah.
can be able to walk you through.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I feel like that's the case with your brothers is at least they were
Exactly.
there and they were able to walk you through. So you
Yeah. And
you you brought up Shopify, and
yes.
I mean I feel like I've heard Shopify because the company that I work for, we've used Shopify, but I
Okay.
know most people don't know what Shopify is. So what is Shopify?
Exactly. So sure, I'll come to that. So maybe just to say, the
Mhm.
thing you're talking about, the privilege I have with my brothers is the mentorship or guidance. Remember, that there's that part of skills. Those skills you can be able to learn them free of charge from YouTube. But again, YouTube has a whole lot of data that if you're not guided, you don't know where to start from. So that is where a mentorship or somebody to guide you comes through. Yeah. So that is important for people to know because it will help you save time, jump onto the right materials real quick. Yeah. Now moving to the next one, Shopify. Shopify is so
Mhm.
interesting. Whenever I hear the name Shopify, I just start smiling because it is a web application tool that runs e-commerce systems just like that. And in this particular case, Shopify is used by those people who run self-hosted websites. I keep saying that so that people don't confuse. Self-hosted websites are those websites are for individuals. Like you can say the KenyaAmericanHome.com stroke shop, you're selling the Kenyan hat and jerseys. So you
Okay.
develop a website domain, you customize your Shopify, you list your product there. So that is a self-hosted. website that uses Shopify, and then that is where now we get our jobs from individuals. Yeah.
Ah, wait. So how's the process? How does it get to? So then there's Shopify, and then there's
Yes.
you. And so from starting, I've gone back, and I think I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build on what you're teaching us. So
Okay.
I've developed an interest, and then I've carved out a niche out of that. You know, I've gone in and uh, whether it's using YouTube or finding a mentor to walk me through, I've kind
Yeah.
of I've acquired the skills and all that, and then so I've fallen to Shopify, right? How Shopify and me, take us
Yes.
through the process of, how can I make money off Shopify? How did you make money like off Shopify?
Okay. There are three ways to it in
Mhm.
Shopify that I know. First of all, you can use Shopify as your platform to run your business. So if you're a business person, you can use Shopify to sell your products, and that will be able to make money. Okay, that is
Okay.
the first point. The
Okay.
second point is, now to people like us, somebody hires you to run their Shopify store. So let's say, for example, the Kenya American home is very busy with his full daytime job, but he has his shop running, selling merchandise. You hire me to run your shop on your behalf. So that is the other way you can be able to earn from Shopify. The
Ah,
last one is by developing or customizing the Shopify websites. It's a very huge market. It's well
okay.
paying. Actually, I want to learn that because it's so nice and it doesn't need coding skills. You just customizing websites for online shops and revamping them and stuff like that. So those are the three ways you can be able to earn. The last two are if you are employed or being hired. The first one if you are now the business person.
The business person who's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. So for do they require, how did you get your first customer, your first client?
Okay, yeah, so that is interesting because you see, when I learned Shopify, I did a lot of practice. You know, you do the back end. Remember, once you start practicing, sometimes you even practice from YouTube without the real software and stuff, but you're able to see the back end tools and you can be able to navigate. So once you have that, you now develop a very good profile or a CV in depending on the platforms that you want to apply jobs from. So but now, still to my brothers, there's this thing of community forums, and that's where I've got all my gigs from. I have not got from any other place. So I started. There's this thing called Reddit. You know, community forums like Reddit, Quora,
Ready?
Slack, Discord. Yeah. So that's where I've been getting my clients, and it's because of the interactions. You see, when you go to Reddit, you get a subreddit category that maybe talks about Shopify or e-commerce and stuff like that. Then you start networking with people there. And also something important also is, remember, I'm sure you have an idea. I think you're an accountant or something. The
Yeah,
process of hiring, the process of hiring is very expensive, and for these small business owners, they always want to like have a very small budget to go about it. So the easiest way to do it is through community forums because they just list you need somebody who can run an e-commerce platform with Shopify skills and stuff like that. Then people DM you instantly, you start talking to like the first five people. That's how you end up hiring somebody. Because if you go to other job boards, like the well-known job boards, it's expensive for the business owner to list a job. And then also it comes with the process of recruitment. Remember, if you list a job in a popular job board, you'll get thousands of applications. Now you need to have an investment of recruiting, like the process of verifying, interviewing. So when you go to community forums, you go to people who don't want to spend big budgets. But the advantage of that is you can chat like one on one and be able to convince them, and it becomes pretty easy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So for you, like, let's say you have Reddit, you're in the Reddit, that's a community forum.
Yes.
You've developed your profile in Reddit, and you've said all this information is it on YouTube? All this information about where do you get all this information about setting up your profiles, making sure that you're marketable, and if you DM somebody and they go look at your profile, they can say, hey, this is somebody I can work with. How, yeah,
So
mhm.
Yeah, so for Reddit, it's not a portfolio per se. It's just you have a social account, yeah. But now from the conversations you've been having, we tell that clearly you understand what you're doing. And then when you get in touch, you know what happens is when you get in touch with the potential employer, you can go to chat and now you maybe have your own profile that you've posted somewhere. You send the link, they can be able to check that out. Then the portfolio is attached to maybe the jobs you've done. And these jobs not necessarily be the ones that you've been paid, even personal projects. Yeah. So that's how you go. And you have to be real quick because it's not like, let's say, like LinkedIn, whereby somebody will go and check all your things systematically and then be able to determine this kind of a person. It's about chatting. You're communicating with this person, you're telling them your skills. So basically, for community forums, it's like it's just an account, a social account. But of course, now you have your other profiles on LinkedIn, maybe Fiverr, Upwork. So if they really need further evidence and stuff like that, now you can be able to share those links and they can be able to peruse them. Yeah,
But you're saying it's good to sharpen your craft that way. Always put
Kamisa.
your best foot forward, because the
Yes,
few interactions you'll have with this person, this potential client, will tell them whether is this a guy I can work with, or do I
yes,
need to look elsewhere? Okay.
exactly, exactly.
Ah, ah. That's Oh man, thank you so much, Willie, by the way. Thank you.
Welcome.
Even up to this point, I feel like, and I don't know if the people who are watching this feel the same way. I feel like if I came into this live not knowing where to start, at least I kind of have you've built us a good foundation to, like, how do I start? And I know, as we delve in deep into this topic, and I feel like, as the people, as everyone is watching, please keep your questions, because
Yeah,
we'll have a time where you guys can be able to ask Willie questions, and we can discuss those. But thank you
yeah,
so much, Willie, for just openly and willingly giving us all this information. I feel like it's really good, and it's good to be able to let people know that, you don't have to you don't have to be a university graduate for you to start
yeah,
making money online. But
exactly.
it's, some of these things, you can be it's they can be self-taught, and it's just a matter of knowing the right, having the right information, and sometimes maybe even connecting with the right people to be able to start where you're starting. And
Yeah, true.
yeah, and go on from there. Me, I'm interested. I'm interested in your first client. It's like, just tell us, give us, if you're, be vulnerable with us. It's okay to just it's, yeah, open your heart to us. Like, how did your first, uh like, when you got your first business, how
Yes.
did you feel? How did you go about it? Were you anxious, nervous? It's the first client. How did, or
So
how did that go too?
so actually, you see, now to start off, I never got a stable job like contract for, let's say, 6 months a year. I started with things that are called tasks. So
That's
someone, it's like people are trying you out. Maybe they tell you build. Actually, the first one was setting up an ad campaign. It is really interesting because I had to sort out the help of my brothers because I was really super excited and I didn't want to, like, I wanted to give up the best, so we had to do it with them because and setting up an ad campaign, you do it, you're given the credentials to log in and stuff like that, you develop it. Then once it starts running, now it's up to them. So that is how I got my first job. And then from there, task, not job task, like you're given a small task, happen like something to do, you do like for $100, $60, 80. Then with time, the same people now start seeing you can be able to do so many things, and when a chance come from their end, you jump on board, and that's how I was able to
uh,
proceed to my first client, long-term client. Yeah.
okay. So is it
Yeah.
like, what would you advise people on, like, how, wait, let me ask you first,
Yes.
how many years have you been doing this so far?
4 years. I've been doing it for 4 years, but
For
now
you.
the last like 2 years is where I've been having stable clients.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you would tell people who are just starting this, starting working from home, it's gonna take some time before you get to a point where,
Yeah.
you're stable, you can make this, your full-time thing. Uh How would you like?
Yeah.
How would you advise somebody starting? When do you?
So the thing is, you first of all, if you're starting off, don't even be in a rush, because people normally, you're interested in working online. The first thing you are asking, because even I've seen that from my comment and DM, you ask somebody, show me the websites or maybe the skills. You need to first of all skill up. You really need to have your skills in check. Remember, these jobs, the competition is worldwide. So you're competing with people from all over the world. So you need to be having good skills that you are sure they're gonna take up the task. And also you need to have, I say, invest in a computer, laptop or a PC. It will do so. So that when now we share the websites, you're good to go. Remember, you have to be ready. When a job is posted, it's global. You're not the only people, or maybe in Kenya applying, or maybe in Africa, it's global. People from India, Pakistan, Philippines are on to those jobs too. So the competition is tight. You need to be able to be on the game.
Okay. Wait, like okay. So simple things. Simple things. It's like what would you if if I'm beginning this and you're telling
Yeah.
me invest in a computer, good internet, like how much am I looking at? How much am I looking at?
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
one. Now, here in my country, Kenya, those people maybe have been asking about that. Remember, I take it this way. I give an example of a phone. Everybody who maybe basically uses a smartphone can be able to get a computer, because you can get a second hand or a refurbished computer, or just even get a good computer. Maybe you have a payment plan for it, because it is going to be a tool of trade. And like I say, if you have your smartphone, because I know if your first smartphone gets spoiled or get lost or something, after a few weeks or a few months, you'll replace that phone. So take a laptop to be like your phone, because that way you only need a phone because you need it, but you also need a laptop because you need it when you're working for these remote jobs. So
Mm,
there's no way out about that. Yeah.
okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
what's the ballpark? Like do you have an
Then,
estimate? Even in Kenya shillings, I can translate that
oh
for
yeah, I get you. So the thing is, you can get a, now I'll say, from maybe 15,000. You can start from a good, because remember again, when you're doing these jobs, some jobs have specific specifications for computers. There's a job they say they want a Core i5. Yeah. So there's a job they'll say they want a Core i7. That is a very high end, maybe because of the softwares you're using. So a Core i5, I'm sure with the refurb, you can be able to get a good machine from 18,000 Kenya shillings. That is refurb. A new one probably would start from around 30 something or 28 there. Yeah, so but
Ah,
I always encourage people, if you're going for Windows, just start from Core i5 and above. That way you'll be able to have it relevant for some few years, and you'll be able to
good.
qualify for so many jobs. Remember, when these jobs, by the way, there's something we've not talked. When you're actively doing these jobs, they keep checking your computer specs. They have to know you're using the right systems, and I mean the right specs for their systems, because they don't want the system to lag or delays. Also, they keep checking your internet speed and stuff like that. So it is really important you invest in that. And it
Ah,
doesn't have to be a very heavy investment, like I've said. Yeah.
okay. So that's why it's very important. So don't just go use those cheap computers because then that also affects the
Low
quality of
specs,
your work.
low
Low
specs computer, you can say.
low specs computers, that's the
Yeah.
technical. Don't use low specs computers because they'll affect the quality
Yeah.
of the work that you're doing.
Yeah, because you're
Okay.
using systems. Yeah.
That's very important to know. That's very important. What about internet? Is that I know like is that uh from a perspective of I because I can share this because you know being a Kenyan, being an African, and coming to
Yeah.
America, sometimes some people are not they're not they don't go out there and make themselves knowledgeable to to like Kenya. It's like Kenya is
Yeah.
not just a jungle. We don't live in tree houses and stuff like that. Uh,
Yeah.
is it possible asking as somebody who doesn't, assume I don't have the knowledge of Kenya, can you get, because one of the things you said, you need stable internet. Are you
Yes.
able to get stable internet? What are some of the options for stable internet back home?
Yeah, back home here in Kenya specifically, there are solutions to that actually, because right now we have home fiber in most of the major cities. We also have good mobile internet connection where you can use MiFi or routers. So that one is basically you're able to navigate that. There's this thing I want to mention. Sorry, I've lost your sound.
Oh, I can hear you. I think we can still hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm saying like there's this thing called the digital divide. I'm sure you know something about digital divide. This is
Mhm.
basically the gap between those people who can access technology and those who can't. And there are factors that contribute to that. The first one is economical situation, geographical situations. Those are the two major things. And the digital divide is something that is really eating us up because people who are hiring you, they are from the developed countries, and the first perspective they
Mm.
always have is Africa has a very huge digital divide, whereby access to internet is limited or the penetration is limited. Access to computer and technological equipment is also really limited. So it's up to you now to get yourself off that hook. And that's where the thing of when you're being interviewed, you make sure your machine specs are correct, your internet speed is stable, not necessarily high, because most of the jobs, if you have basically 8 Mbps, which is maybe something really quite affordable if you have a job, is a good entry point. You don't need very, very super fast internet, but just 8 Mbps, which is very stable. That one you can be able to navigate pretty well. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you for that. I know because it's like the other day I saw them send me an email on one of my
Yeah.
internet providers here. They're talking about 10G,
Uh,
and and
yeah.
in some places they don't even have, 5G hasn't reached some
Mm,
places. And so okay,
exactly.
so try and much as possible be up to
Yeah,
date.
even these normal routers, you see, there are places where there's no home fiber or home internet. You buy a router, you get a very affordable package for data, and you're good to go. It will work very well.
Ah, wait, do you go like what do you use yourself? Do you use Safaricom? Or do you use other providers?
Myself, I use Safaricom home
Okay.
fiber. Yeah, because
Ah,
it's provided in my area and
okay.
it's very reliable. So that's what I use. But I know there are other areas where it is not available. So there you can still get another solution for that.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
just for
yeah,
anybody, just for some people who might be watching us in, like Wajir or some,
yeah.
north.
Garissa, I
Yeah.
have fans from Garissa following me. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Is that like there's still options there, whether it's
yeah,
Safaricom or other options that will
yeah. You
provide.
can get there are these routers they normally sell. They are portable, so you just put a SIM card, buy data bundles for it, and you're able to connect. You can hotspot that with your machine, your phone, your laptop, and you can be able to work.
Okay. So all right, back to the computer. I think you said a laptop can a refurb
Yeah,
one can be like 18,000, which is
yeah,
I think when you translate with a USD currency right now, it's about $136.
yeah,
$136 to get a
yeah,
to get a laptop. It's not very expensive. And
yeah,
I'm sure there are other platforms too that you can find, other cheaper because like here, talk about the US, there's so many other options that are available, whether it's like if I go to the Google Marketplace and one of the problem with like marketplace, Facebook Marketplace is it's
yeah,
only available in your area. But it's like
yeah,
there's always I'm sure there's someone out there who is doing business in a wholesale that can because people all over the world they upgrade their laptops their phones every so
yeah,
often. It's like
yeah,
people with iPhones. The people who bought iPhone 14s now they got rid of their iPhone 13s. And so
yeah,
I'm sure if you look well, you'll find other, whether it's refurbed or it's
yeah.
it's a used computer that has the right specs for you to be able to
And
do.
actually, from what you're saying, it's pretty easy to import. If you're in Kenya, you can import a set from America really easy.
Mm,
But I'm sure most people don't know how to go about it because
mm,
you can be able, there are those. marketplaces I know in America, like Back Market, they normally have very good refurb machines, phones. So
Mm,
you can be able to go and shop there and ship it to Kenya. It's not a complicated process, but
mm.
someone need to be guided if you are totally new in that space.
Yeah, and I think I've recently seen there is, and especially talking about Kenya, there is Kenyans like here in the US who have now started the business of, because they've noticed, one of the things they've noticed is, how people keep changing phones, like iPhones
Yeah,
every
yeah,
year. So it's it's amazing how people do that. Like
yeah,
we're iPhone 14 right now, but
yes,
the reality is there are people who they have iPhone 13, 12 sitting at home not being used.
yeah,
And so
yeah,
people realize that that's happening, and so they started kind of like a business of going and collecting all those things and
exactly.
shipping them to Kenya.
Yeah,
So those options are available, and I'm
they are
sure
available.
I'm sure when they sell like those, they are much more affordable, and it's quality products that are much
Yeah,
more affordable, much more affordable.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Uh, so bumps. What are the bumps?
So the major bumps are basically to get a client. Those are the biggest bumps. The other one is to maintain them. Remember, once you get a client. Sorry, Owen, your sound has gone.
Oh,
Can
I
you hear
can hear
me?
you. I can hear you.
Sorry, yeah.
Mhm.
The major bump is to get a client. That is the biggest challenge people have. And after that, it's now how to keep up with the client. Okay. And another challenge also, maybe for entry level, you'll start with very small amounts, like the pay per hour will be small. But I think it's good for your experience and you can be able to grow with time. Now, speaking of challenges per se, there's this thing. If you're working online, you need to have an ideal work environment. Okay, you need to have an ideal work environment because sometimes you might be making calls, you might be in meetings, and you want to have an environment where there's no external noise, there's no disruptions or disturbances. So sometimes it becomes a challenge if maybe you're living in a, I don't want to say a
Bed
small
sitter,
house, but
a studio
yeah.
bed sitter.
Okay, you can be in a bed sitter alone, but that will work perfectly well. But if you're
Uh-huh.
in a family or you're sharing it with your brother, your sister, your extended family, creating that environment is always difficult. It is
Difficult,
all
yeah.
extremely difficult. Yeah.
Mhm.
So those are the things that you somebody sometimes they find it hard when they're starting off. Remember, maybe you can't afford to move to a house where you'll have a dedicated workspace, because that will be the most ideal. And when you are doing some of these jobs, especially that involve voice, you can get a job that you make calls via VoIP, VoIP. You
Mhm.
need to be in a silent place and you need to have
Probably.
the noise cancelling headsets and stuff like that. So those are the challenges. People, you might end up getting the job, but you end up losing it because now they can't be able to keep on with your external disturbances and challenges and things to do with that kind of environment. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Getting a client, what would you tell is, doing good work? Because I know this so I'm a CPA, and one
Yeah.
of the things I know in businesses, working with businesses, is a lot of business they get referral business, so it's like,
Yes.
and that's how essentially a lot of businesses grow is,
Yeah.
people who've done business with your business have gone told
Yeah.
other people who will come do
Yeah.
business with you, and then it kind of keeps keeps the chain moving. What would you
Yeah.
speak about, doing good work in terms of you know maintaining the client that you have, but also advertising in terms of that, Willie does great work. If you want, quality, on time, good work done, go to Willie. Willie will be the guy for you. What would you
Exactly.
advise people about that?
Yeah, that is a very good question. And I'll go back to the point I talked about initially about the, and this is from my personal experience working for individual clients. Okay. Remember, they have a limited budget and they don't have much time to do the recruitment. So once you get on board with a particular client, perform the best you can. Perform the best you can. They'll keep adding you more tasks. In fact, even those tasks maybe that you are really not good at, they can even be patient to teach you. So that they just keep you and add more tasks to you, and that means more working hours, more money, and stuff like that. Also, they'll refer you. Actually, that happens a lot, and they refer you to other to their friends maybe who run other different kind of online shops and stuff like that. So there's that. It's a network of things, and it comes out from when you've performed well and you are able to deliver. So because you live in America, you know how those people are strict. They want the things done well, delivered. So if you do that, they'll gladly refer you to somebody else, and that's how you. In fact, myself, it's been a while since I did job hunting, because now ukishaingia in that system, you already know what is might happen next. You know, probably if their friend. And again, let's say for example, a high season is coming on, maybe Easter, Christmas, Black Friday, when the job is on high demand, you added more tasks even without being interviewed or stuff, because they know you are good at it. It's now somebody knows you well. Yeah, somebody knows you well.
And they want to do business with you. I mean, I can
Exactly.
speak. So in my 12 years, 12 and a half years in the US, I can
Yeah.
tell you this. And because I know these are the people you'll be working with are businesses all over the world, businesses in
Yeah.
the US. And especially when you're talking about the US, the people there are it's business relations are very different from
Yes.
anywhere else. Because in the US,
Yeah.
it's very much business. It's,
Yeah.
when we sit down, we don't talk about, how in Kenya, it's more relational first. I want to I
Yeah.
want to relate to you before we get to do business. But it's in
Yeah.
the US, it's business first. And then down the line, if somebody has been working with you, then you kind of have a relationship with them. But on the
Exactly.
onset, one of the things that I know, and I think too, I can speak on working from home and doing these jobs is timeliness, making
Yes.
sure that you deliver what you're supposed to do on time. Because
Yeah.
the biggest insult you can ever insult an American, especially in business, is skipping deadlines.
Yeah.
Not meeting deadlines will be, they don't, yeah, they will just, we're not going to do business with you if you do not keep your
Yeah.
time. And
Exactly.
I know that's not, uh, you land in Kenya, one of the things they tell you, throw your watches, because people here don't keep time. It's like, it's Kenyan time, it's African time, it's like
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah.
it gets done, it'll get done. But on this platform, I know the US, if it's like somebody you will lose your job if you don't keep your time, because they're very,
Yeah. True.
very, very keen on, because you keeping time is being respectful to them. And
Exactly.
also too, things like your work ethic and all those things. But also, so I speak on the side. One of the things
Yeah.
I've
True. True.
one of the things I've come to realize is as a public speaker, when I get to do a job with one of my managers who's hired me to go speak, do something, whether it's fundraising or do something, and I kill it, I go do my job. There's a lot of times there's a very high likelihood that that person is gonna call me their next job. They want me highlighted, and I think that's one of the things I came to realize. If you want to
Yeah.
be successful, especially when you're working with these international organizations, is put your best foot forward, because then what happens is, like you said, referrals start to happen, and then it's like that when it gets to a point that they say you want something done, get Willie to do it.
Yeah.
That's success. That, like, you've succeeded. You've succeeded in the international market if they know you as the guy who gets the job done. So
Yeah.
I think that your point is very, very strong.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
And also, just to add on that, remember, on the online space, there are so many ways of verifying that. Remember, when you, for example, being late, you can't be late because there are systems that track your working time, when you logged in, when you logged out. So it is verified, and you get a score maybe after a week or a month, and you can be able to see how you're performing. Yeah.
Ah, because that brings me to my next question is like, do you have a profile? You know how if I have a business and I have a website, people can leave reviews, and then when people pull up my business, they can see, oh, that guy is never on time, that the service is terrible and stuff. Is how does that work in the work from home?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
does, but it depends on the platform you're using. For example,
okay.
those who use Upwork, a client could go back to your profile and leave a review of the experience they had working with you. Okay. But in my case, in community forums, mostly they don't go back because remember, it's a community, it's like Facebook or Instagram. So they can't leave reviews there. But on other platforms that you create your professional profiles, they can be able to go and leave a comment or an experience they had, particularly with a certain task or a certain job, and people who come next can be able to read about that.
Uh, uh, okay,
Yeah,
cool. I think going back, and I'll go to the questions too as we
yeah,
go more.
yeah.
Angela Kaboro is asking, can you kindly tell us the specs they prefer for for the computer, so that uh, so that someone knows that my computer is up to par? Like, do you have are there like, or does it depend on the job that you're doing?
Yeah, I
Specs.
wanted to ask her. Yeah, I wanted to ask her which kind of job because, for example, in e-commerce, the kind of job I do, Core i5, Core i5 is good. Core i5 and above is good to go. But remember, the other jobs that specify specific specs for a computer, depending on the kind of systems and stuff like that they use. So it depends. But for my case, a Core i5 and above is good to go.
Core i5. Core i5.
Yeah, Core i5. Yeah.
So it's Core
or
i5
any
with
or any
processor.
or any latest or any MacBook. MacBook is good, like
Ah,
Air stuff like that. Yeah,
okay, okay. Hopefully that answered you, Angela. That answered you,
yeah,
Angela. Well, so how does that like, as far as pay wise, what are they looking? I think I have two questions before then I can, I can open up for people and yeah, everyone who's watching. And if if you have
okay,
questions, please start to send those in. If you have questions for
yeah,
we that you want to know, ask those questions. I think this is a
yes,
good platform
yeah,
uh, to be able to know that. But also
yeah,
too, I think if I forget, remind me to ask this question because you said you're three. I added the fourth, so now we have the four, and the fourth one was mentorship. Uh, and I know there's somebody who came into this live with zero experience in work from home jobs.
yeah,
And you had your brothers as your mentors. So please
yeah.
remind me to talk about mentorship because I know that is very
Okay, yeah,
important. You need,
sure,
you need, you need somebody to
yeah,
hold your
sure,
hand in that. So
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
I think yeah. So back to my one of my question is, how does what like how does a typical day as you know for you look like?
That is a good one actually. So, because I work for American clients, I start working from 5 in the evening Kenyan time
Okay.
because that is basically your morning there, starting people starting to wake up. So during the day, I actually just maybe chill. Of late now, I've been doing TikTok lives in the afternoons, but before that, I used just to chill because during the day, there's nothing much I'm doing until I wait to log into my shifts at night because at night is when I'm really active. Yeah,
Okay.
so that is how it goes. And then Saturday and Sunday, you don't work.
Okay. So you mostly work during the evenings? You
Yes, during the evenings, yeah. Because my job is active, meaning that I have to be logged into work. Remember, there are other kind of online jobs that you can be given and you can work at your own time as long as you deliver it in good time. Like if say you're a writer, if you're developing a website, you can do it during the day as long as maybe you've been told to submit within 2 weeks or 1 week. You can, but mine is active. I have to be logged in to start working.
uh, okay, okay. And then the other thing is, yeah, I think this is a very important question about money. Like,
Yes.
pay. How much, how would you explain that? Like in terms of beginning and then after you are stable. Like how much
Yeah.
are you on average? How much are you looking to make in? I think in Kenya we mostly talk about per month, but
Yes.
you can talk about any,
Yeah.
whether it's per hour or whatever.
Yeah, so what I'd say about pay, because that is a very interesting topic, it all depends on you. Remember, most of these jobs, there are those jobs you will get for 8 hours in a day, but most of our jobs for e-commerce, they are not full-time 8 hours jobs. So what you do, you keep combining with other jobs. So you find yourself having like three, four clients and you're working for them. Now, about the pay, entry level will start from $3 an hour. Okay, $3 an hour, you go like that. Average is six, around six there.
Mhm.
There's some who are paid up higher, which is really, really interesting, maybe around 8, 10. I haven't come across people in e-commerce who go above 10, but developers, people who do graphic design and stuff, they go way above that, okay? So the thing is, the amount of money you earn keeps on fluctuating. Remember, this month I might get another task. For example, a client I work for might need to put up, let's say, a social media ad campaign. So that is not part of my daily job, but it's something I can do for 2 days. I get $200, 150, or even 100. So it keeps adding up to your monthly income. So the thing is to keep on hustling and be able to get as many revenues as possible.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, no, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I think somebody living in the US can look at that and start to say, oh, uh, that seems low on like a US standard,
yeah,
but then you're thinking about you're living in Kenya,
yeah,
and you're getting paid in dollars, which is and also too living in the US, you might get paid really high, but then after you take out all the bills and taxes and all that stuff, then at the end of the day, you're actually getting paid almost you're getting paid less than that when you take
yeah,
all those away.
yeah. And the
Ah,
good thing, once you combine that, let's say for example, if you have a $5 an hour job, you have like three of them or four, that adds up to 20. So it just depends, and you can be able to manage them. I see people juggling all these things and they
yeah.
sell pretty well. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you for answering those questions. I can, I, I'm always, I don't know. I think that's where my brain works is when I'm listening. I'm always
Yeah.
trying to connect dots and
Yeah.
think
True.
about
True.
things. And I can ask
Yeah.
questions all day. I can
Yeah.
ask you questions all day. But I also wanted to leave time for the people who are
There's that
listening.
mentorship thing you've asked me to remind you about mentorship.
Yeah, and someone actually, Essie Willis,
Yes.
Essie Wills keeper, asked,
Yes.
in case I want a one-on-one, can I reach out, and how much do you charge?
Good question. Good question. Now, I'll talk about it. Now, the thing is, so many people have been interested to reach me out, to ask me questions, to guide them, and all that kind of thing. So, what I decided to do, I set up a workshop. A workshop, it's not a training, it's a workshop where basically, if you're new, if you're interested, if you want to know the tricks to the game, you can sign up for the workshop and you'll be guided in a very professional way. So I had to contact my good friend from Pakistan. She's called Sadia. She has a wide range of experience of over 6 years with high ticket clients. High ticket clients are those well paying jobs. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe so you're talking of $10 an hour. That is a high ticket job. So and he has a well-structured course outline. So we've been having the workshops running here in Kenya. Okay, not in Kenya, it's virtual through Google Meets because we've had people from all over South Africa, Zimbabwe, UK, Netherlands, Uganda, Tanzania, Saudi Arabia participating because they follow me on TikTok. So I organized the workshop and it is structured in a way. We have the introduction, that is the first part on Thursdays. We have the advanced on Saturdays, and then on Sunday we have the way to hunt for high ticket clients. So, and after those, even if you didn't have a niche, you didn't have an idea about anything, those are three sessions that will open up your eyes, will give you an insight, and leave with an impact that you can be able to navigate by yourself. Those who are here, I can see my good fans like Sharon To, Helen, they have also participated in the workshop, and that is the best way I can be able to guide somebody. Remember, I'm only talking about e-commerce virtual assistant, but there are so many other categories of what jobs and stuff like that. So you just need to be given a whole broad of categories to be able to select.
To be able to work through.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you,
Yeah.
Willie. And I think
yeah,
everybody who's been here
yeah,
listening to you, they can tell that you're full of wisdom, and you've been doing this for 4 years, and it will be very beneficial. It's always good. People, and I think that also talks to the fourth spoke of mentorship. It's very important. No man is an island. If you set yourself as an island, sometimes you set yourself to fail. You know,
yeah,
it's always I always say experience is not the best teacher. Experience is a hard teacher because you
yeah,
learn from but you can always learn from other people's mistakes, learn from people who've been there before and done it.
yeah,
Then they can tell you don't step there, because if you step
yeah.
there, there's a landmine and you might blow up, which is
Exactly. Or they just save up your time. Somebody tells you do this and this, instead of wasting a whole lot of time trying to figure it out. It becomes really quick and easy to
very
navigate.
true, very true, very true.
Yeah.
Well, Essie, wait, is it, let me see. Essie said that I have attended the workshop and I'm
Okay.
interested with the e-commerce one now.
Ah, okay. She's really particular with the niche. That is okay. I haven't started maybe doing consultation, but in a while, because remember the last 1 month I've been running up and down, putting up the workshop, which has been really successful. And for those who are wondering, you can check me out on TikTok. We have our links on how to go about subscribing. So, AC, once I'm able to do that, I'll be able to announce to you guys, because I know most people now are interested with the e-commerce. So I'll have to put myself together and be able to take people through, because people have really been inquiring about that. So just stay tuned. I'll be announcing that in my platforms.
Okay. Someone
Yeah,
says, Americavi says that the workshop is a great eye opener for new
yeah.
beginners to help one navigate the online space. And then someone say, Layla Moenga. Layla
Mhm.
Moenga asks, what's your name on TikTok?
It's Willie KG, just the way you can see on the screen. Willie KG.
Willie KG. Or
Yeah,
really tell us, because I feel like, I don't know, listening to you, Willie, and me knowing just how big of a gap there is to
yeah,
I deal with immigration, like questions, immigrations. People come to
yeah,
the US. I'm a CPA. I'm an accountant on a full
yeah,
time, but I like to invest time in digging into like ways people can come here, green cards,
yeah,
visas, all those things. There's like
yeah,
so many different ways, and once you immerse yourself in that area, there's like so many loopholes that people haven't even started looking at.
yeah,
And listening to you, and I took some notes. Listening to you, I feel like this is a really big platform. It's a really big area that a lot of people, especially people who are living, living in Kenya, in Africa, or even the rest of the world, is people are struggling to look for jobs in the mortar and pestle. It's kind of like the building area. People are struggling to take their CVs and their resumes to to employers, because they want to work in buildings. They want to work like at the jobs in their countries. But
yeah.
like the reality in Kenya, getting a job is very difficult.
Oh, it's very difficult.
Very difficult. Also, traveling elsewhere, and you're not going to places that are risky, it's very difficult too. And it costs
Yeah,
money to do that.
yeah,
But then a lot of people don't know that there's this opportunity. So I feel like there's this big gap that we have that hasn't really been tapped into, but there's
yeah.
a lot of money to be made here. if
Exactly.
if a lot of people don't know this. They don't know this exists, and so that's why I'm excited for you. And just that question about workshops and maybe starting that. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know if you're thinking big, but I feel like you carry a if you look into the future, this is a great opportunity that you can use to be able to empower a lot of our
yeah,
young people, to tell them, hey, you do not need to travel outside your country to make a better life for yourself. You
yeah,
know, with some of these simple things, you can teach yourself a skill and actually start working and not having to depend on the government to be able
yeah.
to give you a job. Give you a job. Yeah. So I mean, I commend you. I commend you, Willie, for the job that you're doing. And
Thank you.
I mean, I hope people follow. Yeah, I hope people follow you. Check Willie KG. You know, Willie KG is on TikTok. He's on YouTube. Where you know what are your handles, Willie?
Yeah, on YouTube is Willy underscore KG. You've pinned it down there. Also on TikTok is just Willy KG. Check me out on TikTok. Then from TikTok you can be able to join my Telegram channel where I've been sharing a lot of stuff in there. So if you follow me on those two platforms, you are good to go.
Ah, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is before I think we'll also transition, Willie, is you talked about e-commerce, but
Yes.
I think before I do any live, I usually like to do I like to do some research to to see. So we were talking about work from home jobs, and
Yes.
e-commerce is one of the areas that Willie has talked about. But like he said, there are so many opportunities
Yes.
that you can get in the online workforce. I think I would call
Yes.
it online workforce. And so
Yes.
what I wanted to give you guys, I wanted to give you how many? 14 companies
Yeah.
that hire worldwide when it comes to online remote jobs. And so,
Yeah.
this is, and I'll kind of, what I'll do is after we finish this live, I'll post the links for these companies and you can go check them out. And so these
Yeah.
are companies that hire remotely, and so check them out. And it's a wide variety of fields and experiences and that
Yeah.
are needed. But yeah, let me give you. So the first one is Go Transcript. Go Transcript
Yeah.
is, I think, that one is a well known company that people who don't know what Go Transcript is, it's a company that takes the audio and the video and it converts it into text. And so what you do is, if you work in this area, if you work remotely, you pretty much what you're doing is you're listening to this audio files, or you're watching this, you're watching this videos, and you're transcribing into, how like
Yeah.
when you watch a movie and there's like subtitles at the bottom of the movie. That's the job that you get to do. And so Go Transcript, if you wanna check that out. That's one of the work from home, and it's available to anybody. So they hire the whole world, depending
Yeah.
on it, wherever you are. Just go check them out. Go Transcript. And so I think one of the only requirements they have is you need to have a PayPal account. And the good thing is they pay you weekly. And depending on how good you get with this, you can make good money. You can get good money out of this. I think they give some rates, looking at the transcription service rates. They say some, like they have a 5-day service. They charge like, what, 84 cents a minute. Let me see. I think those are just their rates. But depending on how fast you can do your job, you can make good money, and it adds up. It adds up. So that's one of the companies that you can check out. It's Go Transcripts. And then the second company, it's called, I don't want to. I'm trying to I don't know, reduce my American accent and say it's it's automatic with a capital T. So it's automatic, automatic, automatic. So AUTOMATTIC. That's the company. And this ones, they have a wide variety of jobs. They have technical jobs and they also have non-technical jobs. They have, like, I'm looking on flex jobs. So I like to use flex jobs because flex jobs has a lot of remote jobs that are available. And so looking at their company right now, they have a lot of positions that are available, whether it's designer jobs, JavaScript engineers, manager jobs, HR jobs, digital, branding, accounting jobs, market analysts. And so there's a wide variety of jobs, remote jobs that are available with Automatic. Automatic is the second one, Automatic. And then the number three is Live Ops. Live Ops. Live Ops is the other job. Live Ops is a company, and Live Ops it's mostly a contact center jobs, and so this is pretty much so if you have good spoken, yeah, if you speak fluently and you know your experience in the customer service area, the contact contact center, they they have a customer center, and they hire anybody from virtual assistants to software engineers, virtual assistants to software engineers. And I think they say on average they pay assistants, they pay about 21,000 US dollars for a whole year. And then all the way to like 181,000 US dollars per year. This is for software engineers. And so these are remote jobs, and that's live ops. And anybody who's asking, I'll post the link of all these companies, and you can go check them out after the live. The other company that hires is, oh, please spell the third one, Live Ops. So it's like the live video, LIVE, and then Ops, OPS, Live Ops. So it's one word, Live Ops, Live Ops. Kellen, I hope you got that one. Live Ops. All right. And then number four is Apple. Apple. I know a lot of you know Apple. Apple, if you use an iPhone, that's the company Apple. And Apple, they have Apple has a lot of remote jobs, but they have this particular remote jobs. They call them uh, Apple Home Advisors. So Apple Home Advisors, it's anywhere from customer service to technical skills. So check out Apple. Apple has a lot of remote jobs that are available, and Apple is also Apple is also worldwide because they sell Apple all over the world. And Apple jobs, they not only focus on technical jobs, but you can get other jobs. You can get other jobs, like answering questions about products and all those things. All those things. The average that for Apple for the home advisors is about 65,000 US dollars per year, which is which can be anywhere from 36,000 US dollars a year to 75,000 US dollars a year. Yeah, I'll post the links after the video. And then number five is Citel. Citel. I don't know if they pronounce it differently. I think you can say Citel, but it's Citel. Citel. Sitel. Sitel is CTEL just mostly focuses on customer service reps. So, if you're well spoken, and you have experience in working in a contact center, they have opportunities that are remote. You can work from anywhere. They can be able to as long as you're good in what you do, you can get this jobs. And so they pay anywhere from $9 an hour to $16 an hour. That's CTEL. Uh, if someone from CTEL hears me butcher their name, it's like I just pronounced it the way it looks, CTEL. And then number six is Asurion. 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 Asurion is mostly, their jobs are mostly technical expertise. So, if you're technically in a like IT, web developing, all those things, Asurion is a good one for you. Good one. The average they pay you is about $18 an hour. This is no, oh, CTEL. CTEL is SITEL, not C, S I T E L. Sitel. Yeah, don't worry about the spelling. I'll put, like I've said, I'll put the links after, after we're done with this video, and so you can go check it out. I'll put the links for all these jobs. So I said Asurion. Asurion is Asurion. Asurion, and this is mostly technical. If you're technically able, uh, this is this can be a good job for you. Average about $18 an hour. Uh, Very unique thing about CTEL is, so most of these other jobs they hire you as an independent contractor. So you have your own schedule. They give you the job and you do. CTEL hires you as an employee. This is very significant because as an employee, you qualify for benefits. So, a retirement plan, a 401k, and other benefits that come along with being an employee. So, CTEL, the customer service rep company, is, and then number 7 is Clipboard Health. Clipboard Health, like a clipboard health. Uh, These ones they have a variety of jobs, whether in the health industry. Clipboard Health, they hire payroll, customer service, all those kinds of jobs. And then I think number 8 is Prima, Prima. Prima is mostly a finance. They mostly have finance jobs, payment processing, all that. And Prima pays well. Prima pays an average of about $30 an hour. So that is so check out Prima, Primer. Mostly finance jobs, payment processing jobs and all that. And then number 9 is U-Haul. U-Haul is a company that if you wanna, if you're moving from either one apartment to the next, or you're moving from an apartment to a house, you use U-Haul. And U-Haul has they have remote jobs. Whether it's sales and reservations reps that are available, and they pay anywhere from $9 to $24 an hour. So U-Haul, check out U-Haul. 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 U-H-A-U-L. U-Haul. U-Haul. And then number 10 is Accenture. Number 10 is Accenture. And I'll post this and you guys can go check them out. And then Accenture number 10. Number 11 is Accenture. The spelling of Accenture is Accenture. 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 All right. And then number 11 is Gango. Gango. Gango, this is they're translators. So if you're bilingual, if you speak multiple languages, this could be the job for you. So check out Gango. Gengo. Gango. 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 That's number 11. And then I know a lot of us have used Wikipedia, and Wikipedia they have a company called Wikimedia. Wikimedia has online jobs, so check out Wikimedia. And then number 13, Airbnb. Airbnb is everywhere, worldwide, by the way. So, and they have remote jobs too. So check them out. Number 14. And I think this is number 14 is work solutions. Work solutions. Work solutions, and they can pay you up to $30 an hour. Up to $30 an hour. So I'll post the links to these companies, and yeah, check them out. Check them out. So, you know, you never know. You never know. I feel like, I can't say enough. This is an area that has a lot of potential, has a lot of opportunities that is untapped. And so, as you keep waiting for you to win that DV lottery, check out Willie Bana. Check out Willie.
Yeah.
Uh, go attend a workshop. Go attend a workshop. He can go more in depth, show you more, give you more information, get you started. And yeah, I mean, Willie, thank you so much, man. I can't say enough. Thank you so much for uh, giving us this wholesome. I feel like it was a very wholesome. This was a very productive, uh, country growing kind of conversation that we had today. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. Someone said, Willie Kavi said, uh, uh, you really are the go-to for online streets. So we are now in America virtually. They're telling me
Amerikabi,
this.
hi, how are you? She's my good fan there.
Yeah, she's saying no, because I mean it's information is key. Information is key. Information is key.
Sure. Yeah.
Would you share the links in Telegram group? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Willie can. Yeah, I'll post them. So Willie, I'll post them on the description of the video, and then Willie can share
Yes.
them to you.
Yeah, I'll definitely share that.
Yeah, Willie
Yeah.
can share them to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we Willie share your handles again, because so anyone, any of my people,
Yeah, true.
if yeah, any of my people, if you haven't followed Willie, please make sure that you follow Willie. Uh,
Yeah.
he has awesome stuff, and he goes live on TikTok, shares a lot more information, and I think you can tell from our conversation today there is a lot of wealth in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll tell the people your handle so that they can follow
Ye-
you.
Yeah, sure, sure. And first of all, also, let me thank you so much for this opportunity. Actually, I'm honored to be in your life. It's a great opportunity. Thank you so much. You can find me on TikTok, Willie KG, just the way it is written there, Willie KG on TikTok. Also, I have a new YouTube channel called Willie underscore KG or Willie KG working from home. Actually, it's the easiest to go with Willie KG working from home. So check that out and you'll be able to get more materials in regards to things to do with online jobs, remote working, and stuff like that.
Awesome, man. Awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Any more questions, my people? Any more questions, my people? Any more questions? Yeah, Willie people, if you're here and you're, one of Willie people, you're always
yeah,
welcome to, always welcome to my channel too. So my channel is more, I've lived in the US for 12 years,
yeah,
and I give my spiel on life here.
yeah,
I try and give you information, trying to educate people, especially,
yeah,
I know that that's a big area. People wanna travel and come to the US, go to the UK, go to Canada.
yes,
So I'm here always trying to educate people, especially about using agents. That's one of the things I say, hey, if just save that money, visit my channel. I give you that information for free. I
yeah,
give you breakdowns, a lot of info. I give you step by step, because like
yeah,
coming to the US, it's nothing about connection. It's all about information. You have the right information, you go to the embassy and get your visa without a doubt, because
yeah,
that's how it's done. But it's also people. There's a lot of misinformation that is on the internet, but also there's a lot of people who cut corners. Me, and especially some agents that they kind of blind people about the way their processes. I try and tell you the truth, and I tell you, like, coming to the US, there's no agent that can be able to guarantee that you'll get a visa. No agent can guarantee that you'll get a visa in the US. What they can do is they can prepare you enough to go for your interview, but then at the end of the day, it's really up to you. You have to go and state your case to the visa officer, and
yes,
unfortunately, if they pull out that pink slip and pull out that 214, pull out that 214B, uh, all you'll do is cry, because when you go back to your agent, if you signed something, it should have been in fine print to say that no refunds. So unfortunately, they give you the information, but they don't give you the guarantee that you're going to get a visa. So why pay for
yeah,
information that is not even giving you what you need? Because it's not the forms, it's the visa that's very important. And so
Yeah.
yeah. So feel free to come over and thank you for my people. Thank you for the love, the comments, the likes, the support. I really do appreciate. Really do appreciate. You know,
Yeah.
we're doing really we're doing a very good. We're doing a very instrumental uh, job, especially for the Kenyan economy in terms
Yeah.
of our people, and because the government is not going to help us. That's a given. The government, it we've been, ever since we were born, it's been the same thing. We elect them, they go to parliament, and then
Yeah.
it's the same thing that keeps happening.
Yeah.
uh Mary Kavi says, I guess I will come to America and abroad for visits, and thank you, Kenyan American, for what you do. I do listen for your tips in traveling abroad. Thank you, Mary Kavi.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary Kavi.
Yeah.
Well, come say hi. Come say hi. Come out. Yeah, come say hi. We'll do some nini. We'll make sure I make good Kenyan tea. I can also make
Yeah.
some good porridge. The porridge that
Yeah.
the fermented porridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. All right. If there's any more questions, there's no more questions here. I think me and Willie were gonna, after this, we were gonna jump into go say hi to people on TikTok, and
Yeah.
yeah, talk to some people on TikTok. So if you wanted to come with us there, you can join us
Yeah.
there too. But I'll make sure that I post the link to the. I gave 14 jobs, right? Making sure. I'll
14
make sure.
websites. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and Makivian is saying, will he give me visiting visa?
To come to Kenya?
uh oh, wait, Makivian might be an American. Yeah. Someone is probably asking you to give them a visiting visa.
Sure, they can come over to Kenya.
Ah, okay. Send them an email. Send them a, because usually people usually ask for the letter for the visit.
Oh, yeah,
Mm.
sure. Link me up on TikTok. You can DM me. We can talk
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. We will send you
Yeah,
the invitation then.
sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, yeah. All right. All right, my people. Thank you so much. And man, stay blessed, stay blessed, and yeah, come hang out with us on TikTok if you if you
Yeah,
have, if you have the time. Otherwise, thank you so much. Shukran, which means thank you, and yeah, thanks for the people who started and stayed with us this whole time. We're so thankful. Thank you for the love and support that you show me and Willie. We do appreciate. Uh,
yeah.
Otherwise, be blessed and have a good rest of your Sato. Aye,
Thank you all. Let's meet on TikTok, guys. Thank you so
aye.
much.
Sawa sawa.